Heartwarming moment, millionaire discovers life-changing truth when 7-year-old girl knocks on his door. The clock ticked loudly in Daniel Gray's pristine home office, a sanctuary filled with the aroma of leather and polished oak. It was past midnight, and the glow of his computer screen cast long shadows across the room. To the outside world, he was the embodiment of success. A millionaire living in the affluent suburb of Willow Creek, he rubbed elbows with society's elite, relishing transactions worth millions. Yet beneath the surface, an aching emptiness gnawed at him. He had everything but felt profoundly alone, trapped in a gilded cage. The stillness shattered with a soft knock. Puzzled, Daniel paused, his fingers hovering over the keyboard. Who on earth could that be at this hour? He muttered. He swung open the door, revealing a tiny figure with unruly pigtails and a beaming smile. Emma, a lively 7-year-old girl he recognized from the neighborhood. Clutching a box of homemade cookies, she offered him a cheerful pitch about her school fundraiser. "Mr. Gray. Want to buy some cookies?" She chirped, her eyes sparkling like the stars outside. It was a simple request, but the innocence in her voice struck a chord deep within him. He bought a box, and as they chatted, Daniel found himself charmed by her stories of school, cats, and her family who struggled to make ends meet. He listened attentively, heart twisting at her tales of resilience in the face of hardship. "My mom says we're lucky to have each other." Emma beamed up at him, her face glowing with a hope that felt contagious. The stark contrast between their lives, the lavishness of his bubble and the grit of her reality, could not have been more pronounced. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days turned into weeks as Daniel joined Emma in her fundraising efforts, teaming up to craft colorful posters and rally donations. The community began to take notice, including both wealthy and struggling families from Willow Creek. Yet, as the initiative bloomed, so did skepticism. His affluent peers snickered quietly, questioning his sincerity. Meanwhile, Emma's neighbors eyed him warily, unsure of a millionaire's real intent. Just as he felt the weight of doubt suffocating him, he shared a moment with Emma that lit a fire in his heart. "You have to be brave, Mr. Gray," she exclaimed while plucking leaves for their poster. "It's like my mom always says, every day is a new chance." That raw optimism struck him like a lightning bolt. He remembered a warmth, a sense of community he'd abandoned. As he contemplated creating a charity for Emma's community, the facade he'd built around himself began to crack. In a vulnerable conversation with Maria, Emma's single mother, he learned about her sacrifices and the relentless hardships she faced, which made his own burdens feel light in comparison. Could he bridge this divide? Would Emma's unyielding spirit inspire change? The thought of launching her dreams flickered like a candle in the dark, yet doubt loomed like a storm cloud overhead. As Daniel wrestled with the challenge of uniting these two disparate worlds, he felt his identity shifting. He wasn't just a millionaire anymore, he was becoming a lifeline. Little did he know, the journey ahead would test his resolve and redefine his understanding of wealth. Could he truly make a difference? And when faced with the judgment of both communities, would he find the courage to act? As he stood on the precipice of this decision, a question burned in his heart: what does it mean to be truly rich? The bright sunlight poured through the large windows the next morning, illuminating Daniel's home office like a spotlight. He had hardly slept, thoughts looping in his mind like a tangled mess of yarn. The idea of starting a charity for Emma's community was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. He sat at his desk, staring into the blank space of a proposal template. Where would he even begin? Moments later, his phone buzzed, breaking the silence. It was a message from Emma. "Hi Mr. Gray. Can we do more posters today? Everyone is excited. The innocent enthusiasm radiated through his screen, sparking a warmth in his chest. He couldn't help but smile, imagining her bouncing with excitement, her pigtails bobbing as she spoke. "Of course, Emma. I'll meet you at the park in an hour," Daniel quickly replied, feeling a rush of purpose as he hit send. The idea of joining Emma fueled him with energy. This wasn't just about cookies or posters, it was about making real connections, about giving a voice to the people who deserve to be heard. As he drove to the park, the streets of Willow Creek passed in a blur. Lush trees lined the road, the neighborhood blooming with life. He noticed families out walking, children laughing, and neighbors chatting over white picket fences. It reminded him of the warmth he had long overlooked. For the first time in years, Daniel felt a sense of belonging, the kind that comes not from wealth but from community. When he arrived, Emma was already there, arms full of colorful markers and paper. "Mr. Gray. You made it," she squealed, running up to him. Her joy was infectious, and he felt his heart lighten. They spent the morning crafting bright, imaginative posters, the sun shining down and the laughter ringing through the air. "Let's do a bake sale, too," Emma suggested, her eyes sparkling with new ideas. "We can even get my mom to help." "Absolutely," he said, the idea igniting a flame in him. They began brainstorming other ways to bring the community together. A pizza night, movie screenings, local talent showcases, you name it, they envisioned it. Sitting beside Emma, he found himself dreaming bigger than he had in years. Yet, as their plans flourished, so did something darker in the back of his mind: the opinions of others. What would his friends say? Would they mock him for caring about something beyond money? He fought against the tide of doubt, focusing instead on Emma's unwavering optimism. Just as they were painting the final strokes on a poster advertising their upcoming bake sale, he felt a presence nearby. Turning, Daniel saw Maria watching him with a cautious smile. "I've heard what you're doing," she said softly. "Emma talks about you all the time." Daniel felt a swell of emotion rise within him. "I'm just trying to help," he replied, the words coming out more genuine than he anticipated. "I can see that," Maria responded, her eyes locking onto his with a mix of gratitude and uncertainty. "But change takes more than intentions. It takes understanding." Her words struck home. Daniel realized he needed to listen, truly listen, to the people he wanted to help. He needed to dig deeper into the struggles of the community instead of standing apart with good intentions. "Maybe that's where I should start," Daniel replied, hoping to convey his determination. Emma's laughter echoed around them, but beneath it, a current of uncertainty lingered. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm glow over the park, Daniel felt the stakes rising. Would he be willing to step beyond his comfort zone? The laughter faded into a thoughtful silence, and Daniel found himself wondering, could he really make a difference, or was this all just a fleeting moment of hope? But right then, as he watched Emma and Maria sharing a laugh, the weight of the question blurred into something brighter. The community was depending on him, and he yearned to rise to that challenge. What would he discover about himself and about the people he aimed to help when he truly immersed himself in their reality? Determined, Daniel squared his shoulders. Ready to commit to this journey. He took a deep breath, pondering the road ahead, when he suddenly felt a sharp chill as a thought struck: what if he wasn't the one they needed after all? The next morning, Daniel woke up with a determined heart. The sun streamed through his bedroom window, brightening the walls that had felt so empty for too long. Today would be different. He had spent all night thinking about Emma's community and how he could truly make an impact. After a quick breakfast, he grabbed his notebook and headed out. He decided to visit the neighborhood center first, a place he had always driven past but never entered. As he approached, he noticed the faded paint on the walls and the worn-out playground in the nearby park. This was where Emma and her friends played, where they lived, and it struck him he needed to be here more often. Once inside, the air was thick with laughter and the faint scent of crayons. Children were scattered around, coloring and chatting, their voices blending in a lively chorus. Daniel's nerves fluttered, but he pushed through them. Stepping to the front desk, he introduced himself to Mrs. Sanchez, a warm, grandmotherly figure whose smile felt instantly welcoming. "I want to help," he said, his voice steady but his heart racing. "I'm working with Emma on a few community events." Mrs. Sanchez's eyes sparkled with appreciation. "Oh, that little girl is a ray of sunshine. We could always use more hands around here. What did you have in mind?" As they spoke, Daniel realized he was only beginning to understand the necessity of their community. There were struggles that he had never recognized from his comfortable, privileged life. People were in need of more than just a bake sale or movie night. They wanted support, understanding, and genuine engagement. A lively group of teenagers entered, unintentionally drawing his attention. They laughed and joked, but the undertones of something heavier lurked beneath their playful demeanor. Daniel's heart tightened as he overheard snippets of their conversation, worries about school, family issues, and uncertain futures. The laughter masked the real challenges they faced. Suddenly, an idea struck him. "What if we start a mentorship program?" he proposed to Mrs. Sanchez. "We could connect these kids with local leaders, people who can inspire them and help navigate the struggles they face." She nodded thoughtfully, her smile fading slightly. "It's a great idea, but you'd need to involve their parents too. Some of them may not be eager to participate. Trust can be a hard thing to build." Daniel's heart sank for a moment, but determination surged back. "Then we'll build that trust. It starts with listening, right? I have to understand who we're helping and what they really need." With newfound energy, he dove into planning, scribbling down ideas for outreach programs that could engage parents and the youth alike. Emma, with her infectious enthusiasm, could help spearhead the effort. Her insight could be invaluable. As he wrapped up his discussion with Mrs. Sanchez, Daniel felt a flicker of excitement. An ember in his heart that had been dormant for too long was now igniting. Later, as he navigated back to his car, he reflected on how much had changed in such a short time. But that nagging doubt still lingered. Was he truly capable of making a difference? Just as he was about to leave, he spotted a familiar face. Emma was sitting on a swing in the park, her small figure silhouetted against the fading sun. She looked lost in thought. Daniel approached, unsure of what he would find, but hoping to share his plans. "Hey, Emma," he said softly as he sat beside her. She turned and gave him a bright smile, but he could see there was more beneath it. "What's on your mind?" he asked gently. She hesitated for a moment, then whispered, "I just want everyone to be happy, Mr. Gray. Sometimes it feels like they're sad, and I don't know how to help." Her words struck him like a lightning bolt. Here was a child, so innocent yet so aware of the weight of her world. Could he really navigate this path of help and hope, or would his own fears overshadow the joy they could create together? As Daniel stared into Emma's hopeful eyes, he felt the stakes rise yet again. What would he say to her? Would he give her the reassurance she needed, or would he falter in front of such innocence? Daniel took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts. This moment felt heavy, and he wanted to be the adult who could provide answers. But how could he promise happiness when he felt so uncertain himself? "Emma," he began, his voice trembling slightly, "it's not always easy to be happy, especially when there's so much going on. But we can try to make things better together." "I like that idea," she replied, her eyes lighting up just a bit. "If we could help people feel better, wouldn't that be the best?" "Yes, it would," he said, smiling. He felt that small flicker of hope he'd felt earlier stirring within him again. "That's why I was thinking about starting a mentorship program. We can connect kids like you with people who can inspire you to chase your dreams." Emma tilted her head, considering what he said. "Like superheroes?" "Exactly," he chuckled. "Superheroes don't always wear capes, sometimes, they're just people who care. And I think there are tons of superheroes in this community. We just need to bring them together." Her grin widened, and for a moment, he forgot all his fears. They sat in a comfortable silence, listening to the sounds of children laughing and playing in the background. But then Emma spoke again, her tone shifting. But what if the parents say no? What if they don't want help? That question pressed heavily on Daniel's chest. It echoed Mrs. Sanchez's concerns, the hard truth he had to confront. He looked away, searching for the right words. That's why we have to show them how much we care first, he replied, his voice steadier now. If we start by listening and understanding, maybe they'll see we really want to help. Yeah. Listening is good, she said, bouncing slightly on her swing. Like when I listen to my friends. They tell me things and it makes them feel better. Exactly, Emma. You're wise beyond your years, he said, feeling warmth bubble in his chest. He realized she had so much insight, more than he had given her credit for. You could help me with this. We can plan some gatherings and talk to the families. She nodded enthusiastically, her small hands gripping the chains of the swing. I want to help. But what if it doesn't work? What if they don't like us? Then we try again, he said, the determination growing in his voice. Nothing worthwhile comes easy. And even if they're not interested now, that doesn't mean they won't be later. We'll keep showing up, keep being here for them. Okay. She jumped off the swing and landed with a small thud. Then let us do it. He couldn't help but laugh at her enthusiasm. She was like a shot of adrenaline, and he felt himself becoming buoyed by her excitement. His doubt still loomed, but in this moment, it felt like there was a path forward, a way to bring hope into a community that could use it desperately. As they walked back toward the community center, Daniel's heart brimmed with purpose. Could they really connect those burdens with energy and positivity? Suddenly, a shadow crossed his path. Daniel turned to see a figure in the periphery. A worried mother stood watching them from a distance, eyes filled with concern. Emma. The woman called. Come here. We need to talk. Daniel felt his stomach drop. The look on her face showed the heaviness of past experiences, and he realized deep down, they hadn't even started to scratch the surface of the challenges ahead. Would this encounter set them back? Would fear snuff out the light of possibility he had begun to see? Oh. Emma whispered, glancing at Daniel. Do you think she is mad? What, are you ready to find out? He asked, steeling himself for a moment that could change everything. Emma nodded, squeezing his hand, and together they began to approach the uncertain waters ahead. Just as they reached the woman, Daniel's heart raced. What would this conversation unveil? The woman's face was a swirl of emotions. Worry etched deep lines around her eyes, and Daniel felt a rush of sympathy. Emma, she said again, softer this time, stepping closer. I really need to talk to you. Emma's small frame stiffened slightly. She looked up at Daniel with a mix of confusion and fear. He squeezed her hand tighter, giving her an encouraging nod. You can do this, he whispered. Mom, is something wrong? Emma asked, concern dripping from her voice. Daniel could see the mother take a deep breath, as if she was gathering the courage to express something huge. We've been having some hard times, and I need you to come home for a bit. Her voice cracked, revealing the strain she had been under. I want to help. Emma exclaimed, her enthusiasm spilling out even amidst the worry. I was just talking to Mr. Daniel about helping others feel better, just like superheroes do. Daniel's heart swelled with pride at her tenacity, but he felt the tension in the air thicken. He glanced at the mother, noting the flicker of something between hope and despair in her eyes. Emma, she hesitated, this isn't just about you helping others. There are things we need to face ourselves. We have to take care of our own first right now, you're needed at home. Daniel could see the weight settle on Emma's shoulders as she processed her mother's words. The bubble of excitement that had been building moments ago burst, replaced now with worry. But Mom, I think we could do something really special. What if we brought other kids together? We could help everyone. Her voice trembled, the urgency radiating from her small frame. The mother's expression softened, but her resolve remained. It's difficult for us right now, and I don't think we can manage more than what we're dealing with. Can you understand that? Emma looked at Daniel, her bright spirit now dimming. He searched for the right words to ease the hardship in the air, to bridge the gap between her hope and her mother's reality. Sometimes helping others means first making sure our own home is standing strong. But that doesn't mean this dream is lost, Emma. The mother nodded but frowned at Daniel. Please don't encourage her too much. She's just a kid, and she needs to focus on her family first. Her tone was firm, laced with protective instinct. The word stung. He understood her concern, but he also saw the spark in Emma flickering. I get it. And family is so important, Daniel said gently. But dreams and hope, they can help carry you through tough times. Together, we can guide her to help herself and others. Emma's face scrunched in disappointment. But I really want to change things. Do you think you could help us too? Help our family? Her mother looked torn, caught between her instincts to shield Emma and her desire to support her passion. You don't have to, Mr. Daniel. I want to, Daniel interrupted, the resolve settling in his chest. Maybe I can find a way for both of you to feel supported during this time. As he spoke, it struck him that his own heart was full of uncertainty, yet there they stood, a child yearning for change and a mother grappling with fear. He sensed they were all on the edge of something transformative, and somehow, he wanted to be a part of it. I'm not going anywhere, he said firmly, locking eyes with Emma. Whatever we decide, we'll figure it out together. Just then, a little boy called out from across the playground, breaking the tension. Emma! Come on! We need you! The moment hung suspended, a small reminder that outside these struggles, joy still thrived. Emma turned quickly to her mother, eyes gleaming with hope. Can I go? Please. As the mother contemplated, Daniel's heart drummed nervously. Would Emma's wish to help be crushed under the weight of their reality? Okay, her mother finally sighed, the fight leaving her eyes. Just for a little while. Emma lit up like a firefly, and in that instant, Daniel felt the air shift. There was a flicker of unity, a whisper of hope. They weren't alone in this. But as they started walking toward the kids, Daniel couldn't shake a feeling in the pit of his stomach. What would they face when the day turned dark again? Would this small victory lead to something deeper? The playground buzzed with laughter, yet he questioned whether despair could ever be kept at bay. Do you think we can help them all? Emma asked, glancing up at him with wide, hopeful eyes. I hope so, he replied softly, his voice filled with uncertainty. But now it's about taking one step at a time. As she ran off to join her friends, the gravity of his words lingered in the air. How could they conquer the weight of all that was ahead? With determination in his heart, he thought, maybe hope is a step worth taking after all. Emma sprinted away, her laughter ringing like music above the whispers of the playground. A sense of relief washed over Daniel as he watched her join the group of children. But the worry gnawed at him. He exchanged a troubled glance with Emma's mother, who remained rooted by his side, her brow furrowed. Are you sure about this? She asked, her voice low but laced with a hint of desperation. We'll keep an eye on her, Daniel assured, trying to sound confident. Just for a little while. He meant it. But as the vibrant world of the playground unfolded, he couldn't shake the feeling that each moment of joy could be fleeting. Emma was at the center now, jumping into a game of tag. Her smile lit up her face, a bright contrast to the dark clouds of concern still hovering over the adults. Daniel was grateful for moments like these. He watched her dodge and weave, her spirit undeniably infectious, reminding him of the importance of play, of innocence, even amidst struggles. What does she see when she looks at things? The mother murmured, her eyes narrowing in contemplation. How can she maintain that zest when everything feels so heavy? Daniel turned to her. Because she has hope. Us adults can forget that sometimes. But she sees things differently. The mother sighed, a mix of admiration and pain painting her expression. I wish I could hold on to just some of that. Sometimes I feel like hope is slipping through my fingers. Then we hold on to it together, he said, his voice steady. That's what family is for. She looked at him with eyes full of vulnerability and trust, and in that moment, he knew this would not just be about Emma. They were all searching for ways to rise above the chaos together. As the laughter continued, an uneasy silence fell between them. The smiles of children contrasted sharply with the weight of adult troubles. Daniel felt it, the thin line between innocence and reality. He wondered how he could protect Emma's joy while still facing the truths that lingered just beyond the playground. Suddenly, a group of boys erupted into laughter nearby. One of them, Tommy, was teasing Emma, playfully tapping her with a handful of leaves. She squealed, a mix of annoyance and delight flashing across her face. Daniel felt a strange sense of belonging in that moment, a reminder that even in moments of teasing, friendship thrived. Hey, it's all just fun and games. The boys shouted, and the group cheered, laughter bouncing off the swings and slide. Yet, underneath the cheerful noises, something stirred. Could their mirth shield them from deeper troubles? Would the laughter linger when they returned to their homes? Is that why you came here? The mother suddenly asked, breaking through his thoughts. To help us all laugh again. Daniel hesitated. I guess I thought if we could embrace small victories, those moments could help us through. But it's okay if I don't have all the answers. Silence hung between them again, heavy and thick, before she spoke. It feels like we always need answers, but maybe it's about just being here now. Together? He nodded slowly, absorbing her words. Yes. And the way I see it, hope is born out of moments like this. We carry it forward, day by day. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting everything in warm hues, Emma scampered over, breathless and exhilarated. We won. They couldn't catch me. She declared, joy radiating from her like sunlight. Daniel chuckled, the sight filling him with warmth. But as quickly as her victory came, Daniel couldn't help but wonder how long it would last. Could one joyful moment stand against the storm brewing back at home? Let us keep it going, Daniel encouraged, kneeling to her level. How about we brainstorm ways you can help those friends of yours too? Maybe let them share their stories. Emma's response was instant, her eyes lighting up with excitement. Oh. I can tell them about being a superhero and helping others. Can we do 2 ideas, Mr. Daniel? Her enthusiasm was contagious, even drawing a smile from her mother, who now approached them. Okay, the mother said softly. Let us put our heads together. But just as they began brainstorming, a sudden hush fell over the playground. A new child had arrived, a girl with tousled hair and dirt-covered knees. She stood at the entrance, looking lost and afraid. Who is that? Emma whispered, her energy changing as her gaze shifted. Daniel felt the unease spiral within him. I don't know, but we can find out. Maybe she needs some help too. And just like that, he realized their journey was about to take another unexpected turn. Emma's heart for helping could draw others close, but would it be enough? With determination, he took a step forward. Let us welcome her with open arms. After all, isn't that what superheroes do? As they approached the new girl, Daniel's heart raced. Would their small act of kindness lead to something profoundly impactful? The new girl stood there, tense and still, as if she were in a world of her own. Her wide eyes darted around the playground, scanning the laughter-filled space with a mix of fear and curiosity. Emma, her innate kindness bubbling to the surface, took a step closer. Hi. Emma called out, her voice bright and inviting. I'm Emma. Do you want to play with us? The girl hesitated, fidgeting with the hem of her shirt. Daniel could see her resolve wavering. He remembered how hard it could be to reach out and connect, especially when the weight of uncertainty pressed down. "Come on," Daniel added gently, trying to reassure the newcomer. "We're playing tag, and it's super fun. You can join us. No one gets left out." Slowly, the girl's posture softened. She took a small step forward, then another. I'm Lily," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Great." Emma beamed. "We could use another superhero. All you need to do is run really fast." Lily shuffled her feet, kicking at a stone. There seemed to be layers of worry and hesitation packed within every inch of her, but something about Emma's enthusiasm seemed to chip at those barriers. "Maybe just watch first," Lily suggested, glancing shyly at the group. "Okay. But once you see how fun it is, you'll want to jump in," Emma assured her, radiating an encouragement that felt like sunshine. As the game resumed, Daniel kept a watchful eye on Lily. She stood off to the side, her tiny frame framed against the colorful chaos of the playground. Emma sprinted back and forth, her laughter mingling with the boys' spirited shouts. Slowly, he noticed the corners of Lily's lips begin to lift. "See mon, Lily," he called. "Cheer for Emma." With a tentative clap, Lily did just that. The moment felt monumental. It was a first step that echoed with the promise of acceptance. "You see? You're already part of it," Emma shouted, her excitement ringing across the playground. Lily looked back, her face lighting up just slightly, as if the world around her began to feel less daunting. Daniel felt a swell of hope. Maybe Emma was right, maybe little moments like these could wrap around someone like a warm blanket. They continued to play, and as the sun dipped lower, the air filled with laughter. Daniel could see the shift in Lily, her body language became less rigid and more open. She even dared to run a few steps into the group, clumsily trying to mimic the others. Just then, the carefree atmosphere was disrupted. A voice broke through the laughter, gruff and unkind. "What's wrong with her?" Daniel turned to spot an older boy, arms crossed, sneering at Lily from the sidelines. The boy's tone sent a jolt through the playground, shattering the moment of unity that had been building. Daniel felt tension twist in his stomach. Emma turned, her smile faltering, as she faced the boy. "She's new here. And she's going to be a superhero." The boy laughed cruelly. "Superheroes don't look like that." In that heartbeat, everything felt fragile. Daniel moved instinctively toward the confrontation, his heart pounding. He had to protect not just Lily, but the fragile lines of connection they had all begun to weave that day. "Hey! That's not cool," Daniel said firmly, stepping closer. "Everyone deserves kindness, no matter how they look or how new they are. Just like we all did when we started here." The playground fell into an uneasy silence. Daniel's words hung in the air, a challenge that demanded respect. He could feel the eyes of the other kids, now tense and uncertain, darting back and forth between the older boy and him. Emma looked up, her brow furrowed, determination brewing just beneath her surface. "She's brave. Just like us," Emma added, her voice strong. The tension crackled as Daniel waited for a response. Would they rally together, or would fear break the joy they had built? And then, something shifted in the older boy's expression, his bravado faltering just a fraction. What would happen next? Would the kids band together, or would Lily's initial acceptance be threatened again? Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that this day would mark a turning point for everyone. The silence stretched out, heavy and thick. Daniel could see the older boy's lips twist into a smirk, but there was a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. Just as the tension became unbearable, the boy stepped forward, ready to unleash another mean jab. "Whatever. She's still weird," he muttered, although his voice lacked the bite it had moments before. Before Daniel could react, Emma jumped in again. "Everyone's weird in their own way. What's wrong with that?" Her voice rang clear, solid. Some of the kids nearby started to nod, murmurs of agreement rippling through the crowd. Daniel's heart raced. This was the moment. Was Lily going to feel supported or pushed back into a corner? Lily, still fidgeting, hugged herself tightly. Daniel could see her small frame trembling slightly. He wanted so badly to reach out, to let her know she wasn't alone. But he also didn't want to overshadow her moment. He turned to her, smiling gently. "Are you okay?" he asked, soft enough so only she would hear him. She looked up, her big eyes shimmering with a mix of fear and hope. I think so," she whispered, her voice barely a sound. In that moment, Daniel felt a swell of protectiveness rise within him. They were all about to witness something powerful, something that could change everything. He could sense the tide shifting, with Emma standing valiantly beside him, fueling their collective bravery. "Come on, Lily," Emma called out, her spirit infectious. "Let us show them how superheroes run." Something snapped in Lily, a spark igniting. She straightened up, taking a deep breath. With determination, she stepped forward, a hint of a smile appearing. "I can run," she declared suddenly, surprising herself. The crowd went quiet again, eyes widening. Daniel felt his heart lift. Could this be the moment where Lily found her footing? Without another word, she raced into the game, joined in the tag, her laughter slicing through the air like a warm breeze. As the other kids cheered for her, Daniel felt a wave of relief and joy wash over him. The older boy stepped back, a mix of confusion and reluctance plastered across his face, realizing he was outnumbered. "You're not wanted here, loser," Daniel challenged, his voice stronger than he felt inside. The words escaped before he even understood the depth of their goal: protection, camaraderie, belonging. In that instant, he caught a glimpse of the other children's changing expressions. They were seeing Lily not as an outsider but as someone who belonged among them, a superhero in her own right. With each squeal of laughter filling the playground, courage washed over the crowd. One by one, the other kids joined Lily, their own spirits buoyed by her bravery. Even Emma hopped into a game of tag beside her, and soon, she wasn't just watching but participating enthusiastically. The bully stood back, arms crossed tighter now, a scowl lingering on his lips. As Daniel caught sight of him, he realized something had shifted, a remnant tension thickening the air but also breaking it down. "Why don't you join us?" Emma suggested, her voice light and inviting as she darted past the older boy. "Superheroes are way more fun when they play together." A flicker of surprise crossed his face, and for a moment, it seemed as if he might just reconsider. But before he could retort, Daniel felt the warmth of camaraderie enveloping the air, the barrier of fear crumbling between them. "Let us all just be friends," Lily shouted, her voice ringing with newfound confidence. Daniel's heart leapt. Would this day of acceptance carry all of them together, forging connections that could withstand the harshness of outsider judgment? As the laughter echoed brightly, Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that they had all crossed a threshold. But would they be able to turn back, or would the bonds they forged today be strong enough to last, even when faced with future challenges? The sun hung low, casting a golden hue over the playground, illuminating Lily's face as she darted among her new friends. The joy radiating from her was electric, sparking a contagious smile on Daniel's face. He watched as she weaved in and out, laughter spilling from her like a melody of pure happiness. This was the moment they had all been waiting for. "Lily! Over here!" Emma shouted, waving her arms. The infectious energy pulled the other kids into a game of tag, the lines of separation beginning to blur. For the first time, Lily was truly part of something. As the older boy lingered at the edge, Daniel wondered if the tide had truly turned. "Why don't you play, too?" he called out again, his confidence surprising him. "It's fun. Everyone's doing it." The bully hesitated, uncertainty flickering across his features. Daniel could see the wheels turning in the kid's mind, weighing options like a tightrope walker. Would he join them, or remain an outsider? Seriously. Just because you're older doesn't mean you get to sit out, Emma added, her eyes flashing with encouragement. The bully laughed, a weak attempt. That laughter died as he caught sight of how everyone looked at him, no longer afraid, no longer intimidated. Their joy spilled over, erasing his power. Just as quickly, that look of insecurity flared in his eyes before being pushed down again, replaced with defiance. "I don't need your dumb games," he spat, but the words felt hollow, draining strength from his attitude. Daniel felt a stirring in his gut, knowing there was one more push needed. "No one's calling you dumb. We just want everyone to be included. You might even have fun." It was a gamble, his heart racing as he took the risk of reaching out once more. The air between them seemed to hold its breath. A beat of silence passed before the bully shifted from one foot to the other, glancing back at his peers, assessing their reactions. He was a lonely island amidst rising waves of laughter and warmth. Then, something shifted again. The older boy took a step forward, uncertain but intrigued. "Fine," he muttered, shoulders dropping slightly. "I guess I'll try." Cheers erupted as he tentatively joined in, the kids welcoming him into the fold. Daniel's heart surged. Maybe this was the day they would all remember, the day isolation gave way to inclusion, the day desperation transformed into hope. Lily spun around, eyes sparkling, urging others to run as she darted away once more, her laughter echoing like music. It was intoxicating. The shouts of kids replaced the last remnants of hesitation. Together, they were reclaiming the playground, each child a crucial part of the fun, no outsider left behind. "Look at us!" Emma yelled out, her voice cutting through the laughter. "We're like a superhero team." A warm rush spread through Daniel, a sense of belonging wrapping around him. But just as things felt perfect, the school bell rang, a sharp sound cutting through the magic of the moment. "Time to head back," Daniel sighed, the reality crashing down but the joy still buzzing inside him. Watching Lily, he wondered if this day had changed her life somehow. Would she walk back to class with her head held higher? Would she feel the warmth of friendship surrounding her on the way home? As they rounded up to leave, Daniel caught sight of Lily talking animatedly with Emma, both of them animatedly pointing and laughing. Yet in the midst of all this, Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that something else waited just around the corner, a deeper challenge or a new bond to form, ready to test their newfound connections. "See you tomorrow?" Lily asked, her voice hopeful and bright. "Definitely," he said, a promise in the air. But as the kids walked away, confusion began to seep in. What would that next day hold? Would all this joy remain, or would they face new challenges that threatened to break the delicate bonds they had forged? The playground loomed ahead, a reminder of both their triumphs and the uncertainties that awaited them. The next morning, Daniel awoke to the serene sounds of Willow Creek, yet an undercurrent of anticipation buzzed through him like static electricity. He dressed quickly, fueled by the thought of seeing Emma and the newly forged friendships from the day before. That playground had morphed into a beacon of possibility, a place where hope danced on the air. As he drove, his heart raced. What would today bring? Could they build on the bonds they created, or would outside pressures close in? Arriving at the community center, he spotted Emma already bouncing around the playground, her pigtails swaying happily. She was exchanging high fives with Lily and a few other kids who had joined their crew from the day before. The laughter reached him like music, wrapping around his heart. But just as the atmosphere shimmered with joy, the older boy from yesterday appeared at the edge of the park. His posture was tense, shoulders hunched as if bracing against the warmth of friendship. Daniel felt a tug in his chest, a reminder that yesterday's triumph needed nurturing. "Give him a chance," he whispered to himself, steeling his resolve. He approached the small group, catching Emma's attention first. "Hey, Em. Ready for another adventure?" "Yeah." Emma cheered, her eyes sparkling. "I bet we can come up with even more ideas for helping others today. Everyone can be superheroes. We're ready for anything." Lily chimed in, her confidence shining like a beacon. Daniel smiled, their infectious energy charging him with strength. But he noticed the older boy moving closer, watching silently. It felt as if a silence draped over the group, an invisible barrier threatened to rise again. With a deep breath, he walked toward the boy. "Hey! Want to join us?" The boy blinked, uncertainty warring with curiosity. He shifted his weight, taking a closer look at the spirited group of kids, exactly what Daniel had hoped for. "I dunno. I mean, I'm not really one of them," he muttered, scrunching his face in doubt. Emma piped up, her voice piercing through the tension. "Sure you are. We're all friends now. You could be a superhero too." For a brief moment, Daniel felt the air shift, potential rippled like the surface of a pond disrupted by a pebble. "Come on." Lily grinned, her determination glowing. "If you want to help, you can be part of our team." Daniel's heart pounded as he watched the older boy wrestle with the warmth of their offers and the pull of past habits. Would he step into the light? Would he embrace connection, or would he retreat? "It's no fun being alone," Daniel added gently, hoping to ease the boy's apprehension. "Here, we lift each other up. That's the essence of being a superhero." The boy looked uncertain, glancing between the kids. Hope began to flicker in his eyes, but still, he hesitated. "Okay," he said finally, taking a hesitant step forward. A cheer erupted from Emma and Lily as the atmosphere brightened. Daniel felt something shift, a crack in the lingering uncertainty. They quickly gathered around, brainstorming ways to engage the community further. Emma shouted out, "Let's do a neighborhood cleanup. Superheroes clean up trash." Lily nodded enthusiastically. "And a bake sale too. We can sell goodies and donate the money." "Great ideas." Daniel encouraged, realizing how much progress they had made. This wasn't just a plan, it was a collective effort blossoming right before his eyes. But suddenly, a solid wall of uncertainty slammed back in the form of a voice from the side. A concerned parent stood at the edge of the playground, arms crossed tightly. "What exactly are you kids planning? It sounds like a recipe for disaster." Daniel felt the tension spiral back. How had they come so far only to face doubt again? One of the smaller kids spoke, "But we want to help our community. Just like superheroes do." The parent's face loosened momentarily. But doubt remained. "It's good intentions, but what's the backup plan if things go wrong?" Daniel stammered, feeling the pressure wrap around him. Children looked to him for guidance, and he could sense their hopes intertwining with his own. "Maybe we start small," he suggested. "We can prepare with parents and grow as we go. Together, we can brainstorm solutions." As the parent pondered his words, Daniel noticed Emma's face filled with determination, gathering everyone's hopes like a net. "We can even ask the neighbors to join us." The air shifted as the parent molded over. Daniel leaned in, "Let's invite everyone, parents, families, see what help we can do together. This is about connection and building a stronger community." A small flicker of acceptance sparkled in the parent's eyes. "Okay, but let's keep it manageable. I'll spread the word to others." Momentum burst through the moment as Lily cheered, "Superheroes unite." As cheers erupted around them, Daniel felt relief wash over him. They were resilient, standing together against doubts and fears, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Days passed, and their community initiative morphed into a vibrant force. The cleanup day approached, clear signs of anticipation flowed through the neighborhood. Families gathered their supplies, the word spreading like wildfire. Standing beside Emma, Daniel felt a swell of pride at how they had drawn people in despite the challenges. Children giggled, hands full of markers and colorful cans, ready to paint bright messages. "Hope starts here. Together, we can." At the cleanup event, laughter mingled with actions. Daniel glanced around, feeling warmth encapsulate him. They had become a tapestry woven with hope. Lily shared her story, and Emma rallied the younger kids to sing silly songs as they worked. Soon, Daniel was swept into a game of teamwork, gathering leaves and debris with laughter, an endless cycle of joy returning and lifting everyone. As the day unfolded, Daniel caught memories flickering before him. Emma and Lily, now beaming in their superhero capes, forged a bond with the older boy who had once stood back. This was what it meant to truly be rich, sharing, connecting, and growing. At the end of the day, Daniel stood with his new friends, rainbow banners hanging around them, hearts soaring. He smiled widely as Emma wrapped her arms around his waist, the weight of doubt finally lifting. "Mr. Daniel, we're a team, right? We did it." "Yes, we did," he affirmed, tears of joy pricking his eyes. In that moment, he felt hope blossom like never before. As their laughter filled the air, Daniel knew they had conquered something monumental together. The journey had led him back to the essence of connection, a rich exchange of love and community, shimmering like sunlight dancing on water. And as he looked around, seeing Emma, Lily, and their growing circle of friends united, he thought, this is just the beginning. But for now, the laughter captured the essence of what they had achieved, a group of superheroes, united in purpose and heart, ready to face whatever came next. You need to subscribe now to not miss our next exclusive stories where we keep the momentum alive. So hit that button now, and leave a like to feed the algorithm and show your support. Comment your feelings about this beautiful ending, and share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need a little hope and transformation in their lives. Don't wait not even one more second to share. True fans understand the power of community, and together, we can inspire change.